how I got into swimming was really organic. I loved playing with He-Man and Thundercats and Hot Wheels in a tub. That's where it started. My parents were like, this kid loves water. Like, I would get upset, visibly upset, if they pulled me out of the tub. And so they wanted to take me to a water park, Dorney Park, Pennsylvania. And I ended up going on this ride with my parents, and I had not had swim lessons at this point. My dad kind of knew how to swim, my mom, not so much. And I ended up flipping upside down, and I went underwater. He made me promise to hold on to an inner tube, but I'm 5, I'm thin, I'm holding on, and I can't touch the bottom, and I don't know what to do. And I ended up passing out. I had to be resuscitated. And my mom was like, never again. We're gonna get you into swim lessons. So she brought me to the Y in East Orange and was like, all right, let's start. My first lesson, I remember vividly. I cried most of it. You know, I was now 5 going on 6, and the first teacher I couldn't connect. And I've noticed that even as a teacher now that's been doing it for over 20 years, if you can't connect with that swimmer, it's not gonna go far. And so I went through 5 different teachers. That first teacher, my mom was like, it's just not working, we're gonna try again. And that's why I give so much credit to my parents, because they went against the grain, especially in the Black community. You see an incident like that, a lot of the times you see parents shield their children from water. It's fire hot, stay away from it. And my mom was persistent because she didn't know how to swim. That she was like, no, he's gonna learn, and I'm gonna be persistent. She's stern too, yo. She's stern. But she was like, no, you're gonna learn. And teacher after teacher, until I met Coach Brad. And you know, you always remember that teacher that you connect with. And he showed me swimming in a different way. I don't know what he said that clicked, but it did. And then I remember seeing my first swim race, and I was like, ooh, like this is competitive swimming, this is racing. And it wasn't even like the aspect of the water. It was, oh, I can beat him, I can swim faster than that. And my dad was like, kid, you almost drowned. We almost lost you. What are you talking about? But I got competitive. And he was like, all right, if you're gonna do this and we're gonna put money towards this, you know, you gotta see it all the way through. It's not gonna be something that you're just gonna start and then stop. I had no idea the work that I would have to do in competitive swimming. I started, when I got on that team, it was because I'm an only child and my friends were there. So I was like, oh, I'm just having fun with my friends. And then they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to this meet and you're gonna swim fast. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I really was just naive to the whole thing. And then I started getting better and a little bit better. And so I think that you're gonna see athletes in both camps. You're gonna see your Katie Ledeckis that just love to train. And the racing part is just the fun part for her. She's like, okay, I'll race. But what she really enjoys is the training. For me, what I found the most appealing was the feeling after the training. Because the feeling after of that accomplishment of being like, man, I just did that set and I didn't think I was able to do it. Again, that's what was intoxicating to me. But no, when you put up that set, I hated it.
I introduce Cullen Jones, class of 02.
When I was a senior in middle school and I was like looking to be a freshman, there was no other place than Benedict that I wanted to. Taking the test to get in, I've studied so hard because there was no secondary school. I wanted to go to Benedict. And when I got here, I had no idea how hard it was gonna be. Not just like, it wasn't just the schoolwork. It was adapting to the culture and understanding that, one, it's not about you. You are a part of a bigger piece. You are coming in as a freshman. A lot of the freshmen have this thought mentality of like, look at who I am, because my parents did it too. The world revolved around you. But when you come here, whatever hurts my brother hurts me is real. And you start to really understand that from a really meaningful place your freshman year. So I struggled, I really did. And coming in, I was like, I'm a swimmer. And now they're like, no, we want you to learn polo. Now I'm learning a completely different sport. And I know Cassidy's gonna laugh because he remembers this. We went to my third game as a freshman with people that are much bigger than me, but I'm quick. And I remember going to this tournament and I swam for the ball, I threw it back, and somehow the goalie in water polo, the goalie had fouled out. So there is an open goal. And Mark Price, our captain, is like, Cullen's open. He throws the ball to me. I catch it. I do everything I can. And I throw that ball as hard as I can at an open goal and hit the bar, and it shoots straight off, and I missed it completely. The entire team is like, so if you want to talk about humble, yeah, I was humbled from the day I started at Benedict. And I learned after that moment, because I got back on that bus and they were like, it was open. And I'm like, I got to learn. When I got here, I started meeting teachers that started looking at me a little bit different. I remember the analogy of the beat up wood and coming in and leaving this beautiful cane. And I would say to anybody looking at Benedict's, I would say, no matter where you are, your family situation, if you believe in the process, you will grow. I without a shadow of a doubt, believe that you can be anything you want coming to Benedict's. We say it every morning in combo, but it is literally the truth. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. But anything worth fighting for is going to be hard. The people that are here, like you said, they invest so much of their time into the students. And I got to speak at Convo this morning, and one of the biggest things that I wanted them to understand is that they have no idea what they have at their fingertips at Benedict's. And I really hope that each and every one of those students is not only proud to be a Gravy, but also understand what they have and be thankful for it. And for all those that are friends, family, alumni, you guys already know. You folks have already felt the experiences that you had. And I don't take it lightly when I say that we probably rolled our eyes while we were sitting in these walls. But those are also the things that have opened so many doors for us after the fact. The reason why I'm able to public speak is because Onion forced me to do it. The reason why I teach lessons the way I teach lessons, I've taken so many things I've learned from Cass, and I use that when I'm teaching other people. There's just so much knowledge and so much, there's so many people that care here that if you're a friend and you know about it, come back. It feels good to be back.
Now, if you YouTube me or you Google me, one of the first pictures besides me in the medal is me and Papa. Because he believes, just like he believes in each and every one of you.
I have a direct scenario where Benedict's and what I had learned at Benedict's came to fruition. So Benedict's Hates to Quitter is something that I still live to this day. Like I am stubborn. I will not give up. And you better give me a good reason as to why it's not bending to my will, because I'm going to be relentless. And that's what you learn here. But you also learn leadership. Every day in convocation, people speak up. And I've seen people from other schools and they're timid, they're scared. You stand differently when you leave this school. And I went to NC State my freshman year. Didn't have a great freshman year, honestly. I was still acclimating, getting used to it. My sophomore year, the coach wanted me to be a captain my sophomore year. And he called my mom and was like, Miss Jones, the reason why is because, and Cullen has no idea, but everyone on the team follows him. He doesn't have to say a word. How he acts is once they want to replicate the way he is. And I need him to be a leader and take this role. And I turned it down the first year. I really did. I turned it down the sophomore year because I was like, listen, I don't need that responsibility. I'm still learning college and getting under my belt. But my junior year, I was captain, and I was the first captain that was a junior at NC State history. And all of that stems from understanding what leadership is, and I learned that at Benedict's. I didn't feel ready for that. I know what that weight felt like. because I felt it here at Benedict's. So I knew what leadership meant. And lo and behold, that captain that we had, we didn't have a good year. And it was due to leadership. So when I stepped into that realm, I knew what I was walking into. And we ended up having 2 of the best years that that school at that time we had. And I'm not taking any credit for that. I think we stepped up as a team, but I knew what that role would mean better than most people, especially my age at that time.
I promise you, on the other side of that one thing that you're putting off, that hard thing, if you lean into it just a little bit, you will understand where success comes. Because the things that you are good at, you are already good at because you know how to do that easily. The things that you don't know how to do, the things that you need to lean into, that's the difference between not winning thought it wasn't gonna bring it back. Winning.
I think that there were a lot of things that the school embed in each of the students that you don't know. It lies dormant until it's activated and you just believe it. One of the things, of course, is Benedict hates a quitter. And so I remember on that relay team, I was fighting for that relay team. I was gassed. I had nothing left. So many times in college, I had nothing left. I swam every event, but I had to anchor and be the last person on that relay. And it didn't matter what I felt like because it wasn't for me. It was for the person next to me. And that was something that I learned here at Benedict's because it was bigger than me. So when I was on a relay, whether I was at the Olympics or even in college, but definitely at the Olympics, I didn't want to let anyone else down. It wasn't about me swimming fast. It wasn't like, I want to go that time. No, it was like, I do not want to let Phelps down. I do not want to let Lochte down. I do not want to let any of my brothers down. And so I had surreal swims that I look back at the clock and I'm like, who did that? Because that didn't come from me. And everyone's like, oh my God, Cullen, you just swam out of your mind. I had the fastest 50 freestyle in the world at one point. And I was exhausted. And it came out of me. But the only thing in my head was, I can't let my team down. And again, you learn that here.